Namaste. Today we'll be seeing a very unique word. We are now in the 8th chapter. From the very first sloka, Arjuna starts asking a lot of questions. We saw that when we were discussing about Purushottama. Arjuna is asking a few questions to Krishna and the questioning continues even in the second sloka. So today we will be focusing on the second sloka. Starting from the third sloka, Lord Krishna starts giving appropriate answers to clarify Arjuna's questions. Adhiyajnyaha khatam kotra dehesmin madhusudana prayana kale cha katham jneyosi niyatatmabhihi. Now Arjuna is asking Krishna, who is Adhiyajnyaha? How does he dwell in the body? So Arjuna is now curious to know, because in the 7th chapter, Krishna says about Adhiyajnyaha. Now Arjuna wants to know, who is this Adhiyajnyaha? Is it any particular deity? If that is the case, how can a deity dwell in my body? I know I dwell in my body. How can somebody dwell in my body? I am not clear about this. And in the very next sentence, he says that when a person is towards the end of his life and he is very clear, he is steadfast in his mind. Arjuna uses the term niyatatmanaha. So steadfast in his approach, in his mind, in his thought process, how will he realize you? So here we understand Arjuna knows that a person has to realize Krishna. So he knows the greatness of Krishna at this point of time. But he is not sure about what Adhiyajnyaha actually means and how can somebody dwell in the body. So that is the question that Arjuna wants to know from Krishna. Now Krishna answers this in the very subsequent sloka, starting from the 3rd sloka, Krishna starts giving the answers and this particular answer appears in the 4th sloka. Adhibhutam ksharo bhavaha purushashchadhidaivatam adhiyajnyohamevatra dehe deha bhritamvara. So here Krishna explains Adhibhutam ksharo bhavaha. Ksharo means anything which is destructible. So Krishna says Adhibhutam means ksharo, because these are the questions answered to him in a question by Arjuna in the very first sloka. So Krishna gives answers for that. Then he says Adhidaivam means Purushaha. We will not go into details of all this because our focus is in the next word, which is Adhiyajnyam. So Krishna says Adhiyajnyam aham. So I am Adhiyajnyaha. So what does Krishna mean by I am Adhiyajnyaha? So that is where the entire interesting concept comes, and that's why we've taken Adhiyajnyam to mean a important name of Lord Krishna. So Krishna says Adhiyajnyam aham. So to get into a deeper understanding of this, we should first know what yajna means. Krishna has elaborated the different kinds of yajna in the 4th chapter. So some of the things are like, whenever we hear things, we have to listen to only those things which are relevant to us. We have to listen about Krishna, we have to listen about his leelas, we should listen about his auspicious qualities, how he was born, what are the things that he did. So when we immerse ourselves in the Kalyana gunas of Lord Krishna, the purpose of our ears are met, right? Otherwise, what is the big purpose? Similarly, whenever we talk, we'll have to talk only those which abide by the Vedas, which abide by the Shastras. We should speak the right things. And we should not speak things which Krishna will not enjoy. So we should have the control over our tongue to speak only the truth. So if we do all this, Krishna says, Vangmayam tapa uchyate. So whatever we speak becomes Vangmaya yajna itself. Similarly, for every indriya, our actions should be focused on achieving Krishna, to please Krishna. And every single thing like this can be as powerful as a yajna. And very interesting yajna which is mentioned is that we all know that Krishnas are antaryami, right? We have discussed in detail about this when we were discussing about Purushottama. Because Krishna resides in every single person, he is Purushottama. Now, because Krishna is inside us, Lord Krishna says that the prana that you take in, the breathing that you do, the inhaling and exhaling of breath is actually going to the Antaryami Lord who is residing inside us. So this prana itself is prana agnihotram, provided it is done as a contribution to the Lord. Just as how in actual yagas we do our offerings, right, through ghee and other things. So this prana itself is considered as a great thing, and Lord Krishna happily accepts our prana. Therefore, it becomes a yajna, prana agnihotram, and because Lord Krishna resides inside and he takes in all this yajna, he is Adhiyajnyaha. So we've seen earlier also that Krishna is the beneficiary of all the yajnas that we do. He is actually the Lord of all the yajnas, and he is going to bless us with the appropriate results for all the yajnas. Therefore, he is Adhiyajnyaha. So in this body, he dwells inside, accepting all what we do. In fact, the food that we eat, so every morsel that we put inside is an offering to the Lord. Therefore, even the food that we eat is considered as a great yajna. So we have to do it as an offering to Lord Krishna. Now, this being on one side where Krishna is the Antaryami, we do the offering. Suppose there are some yajnas which are done outside, where we do some offerings for Indra, where we do Sandhya Vandanam for the Lord Surya. A lot of things like this are part of our daily rituals or occasional rituals, right? So what happens in that context? Here again, we have to consider that Krishna is the Antaryami of all these deities as well, because Krishna is universal, he is everything, he is the Prabanja Srishtikarta, he is the Antaryami of Indra also, he is the Antaryami of Varuna also, he is the Antaryami of everything which we can think about. So whatever we offer, whatever ritual we do is an offering to Lord Krishna, who is an Antaryami for all these devas. Also, we should remember that everything in this universe is the body of Lord Krishna, because there is nothing outside of him. So all of us are his body and he resides in every single one of us. So considering all this, the Taittiriya Samhita says Yajna is Vishnu. It does not say even the Lord of Yajna, it says Yajna is Vishnu. Similarly, if we notice in this sloka, Krishna says Adhiyajnam Aham. So he is not even saying I am the Karta, I am the Bhokta or anything. He says Adhiyajnam is itself me. So he is Adhiyajnam. So Adhiyajnam is such a beautiful name of the Lord. In fact, Adhiyajnam itself is Lord. I can't even say that it's a name or an attribute of Lord. Adhiyajnam is the Lord because he is the Lord of Adhiyajna. He is the giver of benefits because of Adhiyajna, and he is himself Adhiyajna. So Krishna says Atra Dehe, which means he resides in this body as Adhiyajna. So when he resides in this body, it means he resides in the bodies of Indras, in the bodies of Devas, in everybody's bodies as Adhiyajnam, and everybody actually resides in his body as well. So both these relationships are important to us. And after saying Atra Dehe, he addresses Arjuna in a very unique name. He says Dehabhritambara. So Arjuna here is referred to as the person who has the best embodied body. So Krishna in fact explains that Krishna resides even inside Arjuna's body. He is the best person who has this material body. So Krishna says, I reside in you also, which means that Krishna is instructing Arjuna, look, sacrifice is very important. You have to do a lot of sacrifices and I am going to accept your sacrifices. I am the Lord of sacrifice and I am going to give you the benefit of all the sacrifices because I am Adhiyajna. So Krishna advises Arjuna to start being, to do this as a yajna. The entire war here is a yajna because it is his duty and he should not succumb to all his indriyas. So Krishna says, I am Adhiyajna, so to pray to me, because irrespective of who you pray to, ultimately I am going to receive everything. I am going to give you the fruits that you want. So let's all understand this beautiful concept of Adhiyajna, because Krishna is inside us, Krishna is everywhere, Krishna surrounds us. He is going to give us all what we need. He is going to accept all our sacrifices. So we should remember in every single breath that we take in that it is going to the Antaryami Lord, who is Lord Krishna. Whenever we look at anything out outside, it is all because Adhiyajna is everywhere. We are his Sariram. So when we start understanding this, every morsel of food that we put in becomes a yajna to the Lord. Every breath that we take in becomes a yajna to the Lord. Every word that comes out of our mouth becomes a yajna to the Lord. So it is mentioned, antar bahishcha tat sarvam vyapya narayana stitaha. So inside, outside, everything is actually encompassed by Lord Narayana. So let's remember this. Let's pray to Adhiyajna, Adhiyajnaya namaha. So let's recite Lord Krishna's names and be blessed.
Madhava Achyuta Krishna Hare Rishikesha Keshava Govinda Vasudeva Bhagavan Janardana